When we got back and unlocked the room, the nervous crowd inside poured out. After Park and Hughes reassured him that it was safe, that everything was cool, the edgy crowd retreated back to their quarters as the two dragged Zhivago away. Some suggested locking a rotter inside with him, but since no one is willing to put their neck on the line and bait one in on account of that asshole, we just settled on solitary confinement for old Doc. Just over 24 hours since Hughes brought me and my friends here, and in that time, the number of survivors has fallen from 35 to 19, and just as Park had predicted, all of the casualties are stained on our hands. But nobody's got the time or mental stamina to hover over the fallen. It's amazing how just a day in hell has stolen the survivors' courage. The instant babbling buzz resonating from the other dorms has evaporated to an eerie quiet. Shit, even the annoyingly rambunctious Mrs. Grayson has shut up. The only noises echoing down Bryce Hospital's deserted hallways belong to the dead outside, constantly scraping at the doors they're trying to claw their way inside. But for now, the timber and scrap barricade holds. So for now, we're safe. I smile with a wince as Trollope patches up my hand. Sorry.
Don't worry about it, child. We're just lucky they weren't rotters.
Yeah.
Stick the needle in further.
He'll be scowling. Still sorry that I locked him in with the fucking Graysons. I can't blame him.
Almost done. Are you sure you don't want anything for the pain?
I'm alright, man. Thanks.
Excuse me, Nurse Trollope? Is it alright if Maven and I have a word with Theo?
Of course. I'm done anyway.
She carefully snaps off the thread, bids us good evening, and leaves. Oh shit, here we go. Hughes looks at Daisuke, Randall, Yomi, and Jason.
You guys can stay if you want.
He peers out of the corridor, makes sure no one's around, and locks it. Park takes a seat next to me, tossing me a roll of bandages.
How's your hand doing, Theo?
I'm alright. What's going on?
You said you were sleep-talking.
As I look at the pair uncertainly, Park glances at Hughes.
Before the screams, when you woke up in the room to find us all here, you said you were sleep-talking. Is that correct?
Yes, I am. I was.
But we both know that's not true. Some Niliquists are sleep talkers and can't carry conversations while they're sleeping. You were, so what's going on?
Honestly, Mr. Hughes, I've got no idea what you're talking about.
But Zhivago's diagnosis about dissociative identity disorder does seem to fit.
No. The way Theo was standing, that wasn't another personality.
I've got no idea what you're talking about.
You were standing straight up, neck down, your whole body was as rigid as a board. Your eyes rolled back like...
Yomi bites his lip, looking worried.
You called yourself Yagura.
And, what did I say? Park scratches his beard, eyes fixed on me.
That you were one of his sinners.
Sarah, I could have said I'm good looking. Doesn't make it true, right? But nobody laughs. Without averting his gaze, Park looks to Jason and Daisuke.
You guys have been training him, right?
Yeah, we've been training. So what?
So he was never alone? Theo hasn't been exploring Bryce's tunnels?
Nah, he hasn't had a chance. We've been spending most of our time just training over at the BKA gym.
Where is this going?
Yomi asks, looking just as uncomfortable as I'm feeling right now.
Theo was talking about aspects of Yagura's mythology, which I had recently discovered. Things that I hadn't told anybody else. Apart from me, no one would know those things.
Except for Yagura? You aren't seriously suggesting he exists, right?
You tell me, Theo. How did you know that Yagura had 8 sinners? How did you know that once Yagura revealed himself to the sinner, they couldn't use his name? How did you know the respective sins? Vengeance, addiction, lecherous, judgment, stalker?
Veracity, envy, and obsession. I guess there's no help in this. But where the fuck do I start? I can't say his name.
Why? It's just a name.
I can't. It's like physically impossible for me. Whenever I try to say it, his grace comes out. I don't understand it myself.
So you are.
Yeah. Obsession.
Come off it.
Yeah, man. You don't actually expect us to believe that, though, right? The devil's real. Ooh, you're one of his minions. Yeah, totally buy it. Yep.
Didn't you see what this boy was doing in his sleep?
As well as that ability of his.
And since you said his grace, that means you've met him.
I find myself staring at the floor. Is it dread? Or guilt? Yeah.
You've
Bullshit.
seen Yagura?
He comes in my dreams sometimes. But if I drink alcohol or consume any sort of narcotic, he drags me down to his world.
His world.
Yagura's lair. So you've actually seen it. Wednesday. This is...
Yeah. Fucking tell me about it. But as I close my eyes and swallow hard, Jason raises his eyebrow, looking unconvinced.
So he exists? Like, you're saying the devil actually fucking exists?
Damn, man. Like, what does he look like? Is he like red and horny?
Yeah, I can't see his real face. When he shows it to me, I can't understand it. That's why he's always wearing a mask.
Red and horny?
No, more like if a gorilla fucked a rotisserie chicken. I know it's a disturbing description, but I find Randall's affirmation even more unsettling.
Oh, shit. Yeah, no, I get you.
Jehoon, the Cabal needs to hear about this.
Agreed. But there's no way we can reach our friends from in here.
Friends? Sir, with all due respect, the second Yomi and I get out of this place, we're leaving the Octagon. We don't have time to be...
Easy. Nobody's going to bother you. I know how urgently Yomi needs help. But Theo, it's imperative that I know. Has Yagura been giving you any instructions?
I guess, but he was only telling me how to survive. But I see it. He was in park exchanging troubled gaze. But I'm not his jester. At the time, I had no idea who or what he was. All I knew was that this thing had given me ghost. But that fucker broke that trust the second he told me what he was and what he'd been doing to manipulate me.
So you're not devoted to him?
Hell no. That asshole tortured me for a good hour last time I was in Wednesday. The only thing I wish for his grace is a colonoscopy with a steak knife.
Well, that's good to hear.
Park sighs, although Hughes still looks apprehensive. He unfolds his arms and puts them in his pocket.
What are Yagura's most recent orders? I mean, the devil always gets his way, whether his victim is enthusiastic about it or not.
Ashido the cannibal. He wants me to kill him.
What?
As Yomi's head slips out of his hand, Hughes looks completely stupefied.
The cannonball cannibal? Why?
I don't know. I don't know why His Grace wants him dead. All I know is that he's another one of His Grace's sinners. Veracity.
Wait. Isn't Ashido the guy who...
Yumi asks, but he sees the look on my face. And that's affirmation enough. Mr. Hughes, His Grace told me that you were the one to put Ashido in Borstal Penitentiary.
He knew that?
There isn't much that guy doesn't know. It's like he sees everything. I mutter, watching Park and Hughes cringe at my nemesis's macabre omnipresence.
Catching Ashido was the single hardest mission I've ever carried out. I lost most of my men during it. The only reason I was even successful is because Ashido was too enthralled by the very bloodied spill to see me sneaking up behind him. But asking you to take him out? It's insanity.
And that's why Theo's not gonna do it. Right, Theo? Right?
Of course.
You're not gonna do it.
But you and I both know that was a lie. You know what I have to do. I don't have a choice. Park pulls out a small notepad and starts jotting down.
I knew that big bastard wasn't normal. So, do you know the identities of any of the other sinners? It would really help us a lot.
Just one. I glance at Daisuke and Randall, forecasting the bad intentions about to darken their expressions. Her name is Mignon, but she goes by Patchy, wincing as her blood-soaked tail flashes in front of my eyes and booze ending in front of Dice Case. She is Envy.
Envy.
Sir, do you remember Mia? The girl you rescued with me? I guess there's no help in it. She's a meddler. I grimace and then recount Mia's story the best I can remember. I try to leave nothing out, except for one small part. One small part that matters to nobody else. Because some things are better left buried.
Poor girl.
Poor girl, my ass. She's just some crazy, evil psycho bitch with an inferiority complex.
That bitch has got another thing coming.
Damn straight.
Park looks like he had something to say, but he keeps it to himself.
What's Patchy's power then? You've got Ghost and Ashido. Well, he's Ashido.
I explain all of Patchy's snake-like abilities, but when I get to her venom and its malignant properties, Park and Hughes exchange an uneasy glance.
Is it possible that she caused this outbreak?
It's not impossible, but I seriously doubt it. I mean, although she can secrete the venom, she's no more immune to it than any one of us. And considering the fact that the only thing that Patchy cares about is killing Mia, I don't see her stirring up an outbreak if it jeopardized her chances of getting out of Bryce alive.
Good point.
Park looks at me, pen hovering over his notepad.
One last thing. When Yagura drags your soul down to Wednesday, what happens to your body?
Oh shit, he knows. He fucking knows.
According to my research, while soulless, sinners become possessed by demons.
That was a demon?
What are you talking
Lester
about?
glances at me apologetically. The cat's already out of the bag, so there's no help in it. As I said, if I drink alcohol, my soul is dragged out of my body, and a demon takes over.
What does that mean? You'll go on a killing spree?
I can see it in his eyes. The Cruel and Square Massacre, Kyle's Dillon, the Mosh Pit Arena. He thinks I'm behind all of those. Mr. Hughes, I have only ever been possessed once, and these guys were in front of me when that happened.
Damn, man. That was a demon?
Well, it sure as shit wasn't Theo.
So he didn't kill anyone.
No. Hurt me pretty bad, but I'm alright.
Hughes leans back on the wall, looking distressed. It's Park who responds.
It's just... the MO of the mosh pit killings fit those I found in my research regarding demon possessions.
That wasn't Theo. We were with him that morning.
Yeah, man, I remember he was sick that day. He threw up all over my bed.
Look, maybe Patchy and Christopher were behind all these killings. I mean, shit, look outside. They're obviously capable of mass slaughter. It could just as well have been them.
I don't know if he really buys it either, but I let him push the bullshit. It wasn't his fault, so I'm not gonna let anybody put a bullseye on her back. Suddenly, the room grows significantly darker, and even though the number of candles flickering has not changed, the windows have all gone pitch black.
What was that?
Daisuke hisses, but Hughes is already unlocking the door.
You boys stay here.
He grunts and disappears into the darkness.
Son of a bitch! Son of a bitch! Son of a bitch! Son of a bitch! Stand. Stuck my damn toe on the bed.
Daisuke peels the flip-flop off his foot and starts nursing his throbbing toe.
You dumbass, you should watch where you're going. God damn it!
As the slipper bounces off his son's face, Daisuke smirks.
Lead by example.
I ain't fucking running to that, man.
Reynolds splutters, vigorously rubbing his tongue with his shirt, as if trying to scrape something off.
Hey, what the hell did you step in?
The rumblings down the hall shut us up. It's Hughes. He's banging on the door, telling everybody to meet up in the waiting ward.
What's wrong?
He calls out as we clamber out of my room. But Hughes just grunts, pushing past us and slamming his fist against the Grayson's door.
No time to explain. Meeting in the waiting ward. 2 minutes.
I want to ask him what's driving the cork up his ass, but he's already disappeared down the corridor, punching more doors.
Kevin, get your wife and go to the waiting ward. You four, help Maven round everybody up. If he says it's urgent, quick!
All along, I played This is Chris from Everyone Loves a Villain, and right now you're listening to SOB.
It was a pain in the ass getting everybody here. I mean, do you know how many times I've been fucking flipped off today? To be fair, I can't really blame them. It is 3 in the fucking morning. You know what? But I am curious what's climbed up Hughes' ass. Knowing him, I don't know if curious is the right word. Fucking terrified, perhaps? I have been cussed out at almost every single door, but finally, everybody is here. Though considering how lethargy has transformed Rachel Grayson from an incessant motor mouth to an irate turbo mouth, I'm not so sure it's a good thing. Exigently muttering to each other, Hughes and Parker in the far corner of the room. I can't hear what it's about, but judging from their anxious demeanor, yeah, I think fucking terrified wins the vote. Hughes barks, trying to shut everybody up. Annoyed gazes quickly snap on the two, but they seem intrepid.
Hey, who do you think you are, dragging us out of bed like this?
Listen.
Yeah, locking Zavago up doesn't give you the right to...
But a heavy crash cuts him off. Park just slammed the heavy metal something into the wall, shutting everyone up.
We don't have time to bicker amongst ourselves, so I suggest you all shut it and let Maven tell you exactly how much shit we're all waiting in.
Thankfully, enough survivors have heard the ballad of the wrath of Park to know when to clamp it.
As I was saying, notice how everything's gone dark.
But everybody just shrugs, scowling and confused.
The city's lighting system is unresponsive. I'm guessing everybody on the other side of that door is dead, so nobody's sitting in the control room.
He glares at us, expecting some sort of huge reaction. I can't really blame them for their idiocy, because I don't really fucking know what the big deal is either.
Don't you get it?
We need to get out of this goddamn mountain. Quick.
You want us to make a break for it? Are you fucking crazy? With those things outside just because of a little blackout?
Listen, Bryce's lighting is controlled by the perpetual maintenance system. The same system that aerates this mountain.
For fuck! Look outside. If there's nothing keeping the lights on, there's nothing keeping the air pumping. Sooner or later, we're all going to suffer.
No fucking way. No fucking way. Gasps, panic, everybody's breathing becomes more erratic. Although I'm not sure if it's from the gasps or if they're fearfully testing out how much oxygen is still left underneath this mountain. Yomi raises a quivering hand.
Sir, how long before we run out of air?
Maven?
Although there's nothing regulating the city's air supply, the caverns are big enough to buy us some time. Whether it's an hour or a week, I have no idea.
Angry mutterings greet this. Park continues.
One thing's for sure. We can't stay here. We need to get out.
Easier said than done.
You remember how many people died closing those doors?
And you two just want to open them? You know what it's like out there. Going outside is suicide. Zavago was right. We're safer waiting here for help.
What makes any of you think anyone outside Bryce even knows about this outbreak?
Kevin Grayson's jitters have gotten the better of him. He stands in front of his wife, taking his hands out of his pocket.
The place was locked from the inside. The people who had the keys are dead.
He throws the frightened student a dirty look.
So if you or any other idiot wants to hide in here, waiting for the Easter Bunny to come along and pull you out of this asshole of a situation, good luck. But my wife and I are getting out of here. And I don't think we're leaving any guns behind for the people who have no hope of surviving.
That shuts the kid up. Everybody inches back from the man burning with a paternal fire. A fire I understand all too well.
So it's settled.
Looks like we've got another adventure ahead of us, Maven.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bloodbath.
Yomi raises a violently shivering hand. I glance over at him and a chill runs down my spine. Guys, I don't know if it's the dark or what, but his face has lost its color. I mean, I know it's cold in here, but why is he so pale?
Hey, you alright, Yomi?
I'm fine. Do you guys even have a plan on how to get out of here?
Yo, Yomi, You sure you're okay? Yomi just shakes his head. He just got juiced up a couple of days ago. He should be fine, right? But then why the fuck has he gone so pale?
Bryce train station.
And how are we supposed to get there? The station's all the way across the city.
You think we don't know that? But it's the only way. Once we get there, we can ride the train out of the mountain.
You want us to go and traverse the post-apocalyptic mess of a city in the dark while fighting off a city-sized horde in the fucking dark. Does nobody find that stupid?
No response. Only uneasy, undeterred glares are exchanged.
Okay, and there's more. And, assuming anybody makes it to the station alive, does anybody in this room know how to fucking drive a train, huh? Because I sure as shit don't.
We'll figure it out when we get there.
I grew up on a train yard. You guys get me to those tracks. I'll take care of the rest.
His wife's nervous glance flickers with pride.
Then it's settled.
No, it's not fucking settled. Look at them. Sorry, but unlike you, these people aren't trained marksmen, okay? Hell, I don't even think they've ever held a...
Quit your bitching. Every breath you waste crying out your wet pant bullshit just leaves less air for everybody else.
So if you don't have anything useful to say, Carlson, shut the fuck up.
Mr. Grayson remarks approvingly. Even Park stifles a smirk, but Hughes doesn't look impressed.
Carlson does raise a good point. How many of you actually know how to fire a gun?
Only 2 hands go up. Nurse Trollope and Randall?
You know how to fire guns?
My father was a cattle rancher. He taught me how to use a shotgun to keep wolves away.
Hughes smiles slightly, looking impressed.
Got a couple Spencers lying around. Although if you'd like, I can give you my own 94 hammer.
The Spencer will do. It's got more mellow recoil than the 94. And to be honest, the 94 is a woman's gun.
Hughes beams at her, then turns to Randall, but Daisuke has already slapped his hand out of the air.
You don't know how to fire a gun.
I do too. I shot a horse.
By accident. And he didn't even do it right.
Would you have preferred me to shoot the thing in the head?
Better than shooting it in the ass.
Maybe he was drunk.
Man, I wouldn't use a gun if I were drunk. What do I look like, an idiot?
For obvious reasons, I do not answer.
So only one person knows how to fire a gun?
Alright. I guess I'll have to give you guys a crash course on shooting. But we're not going to be using any bullets.
We won't.
We're already low on ammunition. No point in using up all the bullets in training. If we don't have any left, we won't be able to defend ourselves.
What about Dr. Zhivago? Aren't we gonna take him with us?
But the unanimous "let the bastard choke in the dark" says it all. It's pretty clear everybody hates him. Whether it's plain old revenge or some twisted sort of justice, general consensus is to let the asshole stew in his own mess. Personally, I've never been a big believer of either. But if we take him with us, I'm pretty sure he's gonna be a threat after all the courtesy that we've shown him. I know, it sounds cruel, but right now I'm in survival mode. My only concern is getting Yomi and me out of here alive. So, when do we leave?
24 hours. Tomorrow at noon.
Tomorrow? Didn't you say we were running out of air pretty soon?
Yeah, I did. But first, I need to teach you guys how to point and shoot. No point in handing you guns and sending you to no man's land, only to have Randall shoot one of us in the ass.
I can see Randall already regrets telling everybody about the time he gave Seabiscuit a lead tramp stamp.
And that was one time.
So it's settled. Where do you want to set up?
It's too cramped in here. How about the observation room?
Sounds good. Can you guys help me bring the guns?
I start to get up from my chair, but something collapses on the floor next to me. Yomi! I frantically shove my way over to him, terrified that he's relapsed into one of his episodes.
I'm fine. I'm fine. I just tripped.
No. He's trying to get up. But he can't. Why can't he get up? Daisuke helps Yomi up and sits him down.
Hey, you okay, little buddy?
I'm fine.
Yomi mutters, looking at his legs uncomfortably. He grunts, as if forcing something to move, but nothing happens. Trollope urgently nudges her way through the onlooking crowd. Even though I know I can probably use one even more, I give Yomi a reassuring look. Hey, buddy, Tell her she's a nurse. It's okay. But Yomi doesn't say anything, glaring down at his legs. What the fuck? Can't he move them? Trollop's already gotten the idea. Pulling out a small pin, she starts pricking him on the toes, trying to stimulate some sort of reflex. But nothing happens. No, fuck.
You can't move them, can you?
I can't even feel them.